What are flat earthers doing during the eclipse today? Husband went to a flat earth convention in Vegas a few years ago. He said it was 7 people in a 2,000-seat hall. I guess the idea is not just that the earth is flat, but they will resolutely only believe what they can see. It's linked to being a sovereign citizen. It's for trolling a society they aren't part of. It's sort of reverse hippie. Instead of limiting your life to a belief of an ever-expanding consciousness, you limit your life to an ever-contracting one. I've heard that some flat earthers believe that things like the sun, the moon, other planets, etc., are all round or faked. Take your pick. But the Earth itself is flat. It allows for all the convenience of solar systems and orbit paths and such, while still clutching onto the idea that we aren't falling off because Earth is not round. Just the right distances from each other to create the same shadows we see. Surely they have some fancy physics to make this work, even if the actual physics of the actual eclipse are much simpler. I have seen some who claim that it's not the moon covering the sun, but some other object. They cannot say what this object is, where it is, where it comes from, what it's made of, how it gets in front of the sun, or why it doesn't block out anything else but the sun. But that's what some of them claim. Apparently, the conspiranoia crew are very concerned about the LHC starting up again in the middle of it. The fact that it did that several days ago doesn't seem to deter them in the least. Once they smell a good conspiracy, they don't let go that easy. I've never seen a theory with as many explanations, caveats and workarounds as flat earth theory, whereas regular science can explain everything by simply stating that mass is attracted to other mass. That one concept makes everything we observe fit. 1. Extend arms at right angle to body. 2. Curl hands into fists. 3. Extend index finger on each hand. 4. Bend elbows until fingertips make contact with opening in ear. 5. Close eyes tightly. 6. Shout LA 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 as loudly as possible. Try and tie it into a never-ending series of larger conspiracy theories about global control that they'll immediately drop in favor of something else once nothing happens during the eclipse, like they do with literally everything. Are there a lot of actual flat earthers? When I see surveys of kids that identify as cats, etc., I think about me at that age. When I was a teen, if you gave me a survey of what I identify as, I put whatever I thought was funny. Sure, anyone who's able to ignore the mountain of evidence that disproves flat earth theory in the first place would have no problem doing the mental gymnastics required to explain away an eclipse. Even if the earth was flat, it would still be possible for the moon to pass directly in front of the sun. Flat earthers wouldn't have any reason to do anything differently than any other person. If the earth is flat doesn't mean everything else is flat. Moon could be a sphere, or round as well, just facing earth. There you go, just starting the flat moon movement. What eclipse? How dare you assume you know what is happening on the other side of those clouds? The moon didn't go between the sun and the earth where I live. Fake news. Doing a meeting all together to not be able to see the eclipse and then, when it's finished the eclipse, deny that eclipse happened, could be an idea for them maybe. Working on their mathematical model that explains using their ideas all previous eclipses and future ones for the next century. Sometimes I crack myself up. Flat earthers cannot explain why the sun sets, or day and night is a thing, so they will just conveniently ignore it like everything else that disproves them, convincing themselves that secret juice space lasers are blocking out the sun, instead of starting forest fires in CA this month. LOL. Flat Earth is so 2010. 2024 is they're lying when they tell you to not look directly at the eclipse with your naked eyes. I constantly see posts like this on Reddit attacking flat earthers. I have never seen anyone claim to be a flat earther. I'm convinced some are just contrarians. It doesn't matter the subject. Just to be different is their form of control. Probably jerking each other off about the flat S, what the flat earthers I used to work with did every day. If I hold one paper plate up in front of the other, they're both flat and circle at the same time. Checkmate. I'm sure they're coming up with some bullshit that allows them to keep believing whatever they want to believe. Standing in Alaska, pointing at the lack of an eclipse in the sky saying, see? It's all a hoax. Simple. The government is controlling the sun to trick people into thinking the earth is round. Likely pondering why Werner von Braun, the founder of NASA, has Psalm 19:1 on his headstone. Well, since their understanding is childlike, perhaps still chase the shadow for a while, probably not realizing how the event completely shatters their childlike beliefs. They're thinking this is a cover-up by the government to change the big light bulb. What we do every Monday, brain try to take over the world, or online gaming. Probably the same thing they were doing during the eclipse yesterday, Pinky. I think my kindergarten teacher used to call it busy work. For adults, you can't argue with them, they just say it's projected on the dome. Flipping a coin and randomly proving the world how eclipse works. Scouring YouTube to find videos to tell them the eclipse is fake. Covering their eyes and ears so they can continue being ignorant. Put a burrito in a panini press to try to make a quesadilla. Probably the same thing they do every day, eating crayons. Sulking and seeking medical treatment for retinal burns. I have no idea, but absolutely love this question. For sure they're also outside watching eclipse happen. I saw two of them talking to Elvis not 5 minutes ago, probably explaining to someone how stupid they are.